Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about exit codes. And I think we're finally going to start using this Mac terminal that we have on the left. Okay. So, let's start by exiting. So, exit codes are an important concept because they're very integral to how a CI works, specifically how the CI checks for errors and when it fails and when it does not. So we know that in general, how we know that some script or some program runs correctly, well, depending on the program, you might expect to get some output, but not all programs actually return some output or show you any output once it runs. So how in general would you figure out if a script or a program ran correctly? For example, you can run this ls non-existent file, and naturally this would throw an error that says that there is no such file or directory. But every command, depending on the command, the output is something that's very different. So scripts have a almost invisible thing called an exit code, and the exit code has a particular value depending on whether the command runs successfully or it did not run successfully. So if I run echo $? We get a 1 here. So in our case, this is consistent with the output over here. In my case, I get an exit code of 1. Let's see, do we get a 2 if I run it again? No, I still get a 1. No matter. Now let's see what happens if I just run the echo command or just any other command, nothing else. And then I run again the echo $, with question mark. Now we get an exit code of 0. Okay, so what we know is that we get an exit code of 1 or 2 or something else when scripts or programs do not run correctly. And we get an exit code of 0 if a program runs correctly. And this is the way to view the value of the exit code from the previous command with the $question mark. So this works for any command in general. For example, if I mistype git status with stouts, then automatically we see this error message. And again, we can check for the exit code, and we get an exit code of 1. So what we're seeing here is that whenever there's a failure, the exit code is just non-zero. It is not a Boolean, as you might think, because we've only seen 1s and 0s. In general, exit codes can be any value you want, but generally the convention is that if the exit code is 0, then the program or the script ran successfully, and everything else other than 0 just means that there was an error, and the number itself might allude to what kind of error you are looking at. All right, now let's keep going. All right, so let's go on to printing exit codes. So we've seen above how to print the exit codes in a shell by using echo $. But we can also do this in other programming languages, like in Python. So let me just activate Conda environment so that I can have Python. And let's just call Python. All right. And so let's mimic the same as above, but using a Python script. So let's import OS subprocess. And there we go. And now we get that output, os.wexit status. And we get here we see that we mimic the execution of the ls command in Python with os system ls, and we mimic and we print out the exit code with os.wexit status ret, because that's what we stored from the execution of the ls command above. Now, if we try to do, let's try to make this exit code a failure. So ret equals os.system ls non-existent file it throws out the error right then and there. So os.wexit status ret again, and we get the exit code of 1. So this might, the exit code that you will see here, it might be a little bit different for you depending on where you're working. But all you need to know is that the exit code that corresponds to a failure is a non-zero exit code. And that's the main thing. Now, we can also, we know how to get exit codes, but we can also set them. Let's see how to do this in the shell and in Python. All right, so let me just exit out of Python interpreter here. And let's create a file called bash exit.sh. And I'm just going to copy and paste the contents here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make this script, this shell script, this bash script as an executable, and then we're going to try and run it. And we're going to see what this exit code of this particular program is. So let's do chmod +x/exit. And now we can just execute this with bash exit and then pass in hello. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Echo. We get an exit code of 0. All right. Now let's try again with something else other than hello. Let's say goodbye. And again. We have an exit code of 59. And that makes sense because in this bash script, what we're doing is we're checking for the first argument of the command that we're using. If the argument of that command equals hello, then it will exit 0, simulating simulating a correct execution. If we give anything else as an argument to this shell command, then we set the exit code to be 59. Similarly, we can do this in Python. So again, just going to create a Python exit.py file, paste that. Again, chmod to make it executable. And we can do the same. Python exit, hello. Again, check the exit code. It's 0. Python exit, goodbye. Check the exit code, 59. So we can do the exact same thing in different programming languages. So what we can also do is we can also ignore some exit codes. This is a little bit hacky and it's generally not recommended, but sometimes you will find yourselves in a situation in which you need to do this, or you find some code that does not respect exit codes. But these are generally not a good idea or very rare to find. So one way to, let's say, to ignore an exit code is to do something like this, where you give a command that always gives exit 0 if the first command doesn't. So this is a rather abstract thing to do, but if we just run this, what we have here is a command to the left and to the right of this OR operation, which means what this is doing is that we will execute command 2, so the command to the right, if and only if command 1 has failed. So if this returns a non-zero exit code, then this one will return, this one will execute. And because this one will execute, this will return an exit code of 0. So the entire thing returns an exit code of 0. Similarly, we can do this with the double AND sign, and this is kind of like the opposite. Command 2 will run only if command run, so the command to the right will run only if the command to the left runs successfully or returns an exit code of 0. So we can again test it out with the bash script here, or we can test it out with a Python code that we just made. Python exit, goodbye, right? Oops, sorry about that. So Python exit, goodbye. Oh, I misspelled that. Let's run that one again. And we also get an exit code of 0. So again, it's not really recommended to hack exit codes like this, but now you're just aware how to do it. All right. We'll see each other in the next video.